here with us.
Oh, hi everybody. I swear. If you guys only knew sometimes what happened before we press record.
I'm glad that they can.
I'm glad you can see some of the things. Hello.
Hey y'all.
Hey guys.
How you doing?
What's going on?
All good in the hood.
Happy Saturday.
Happy Saturday afternoon, lovelies.
Yes.
Hope you guys are doing good. Thank you for joining us.
Despite the weather, right? It's cold.
Despite the cold weather.
Guys, it's cold.
It's frigid. It's frigid.
It is cold out there, but we are here.
We're warm in here.
We are here with you. Thank
Yes.
you for joining us today. It's going to be a big episode. It's
Yes.
episode 5. I actually can't believe it. Like
Look at that,
last
eh?
week, I was like, it's episode 4, and I'm thinking it's episode 5. Like
What we did.
It is crazy. So it is a big one. Again, just like last week, I'm going to say viewer discretion is advised. These opinions are our own. You may not agree with them. However, this is what the show is about. It's about sharing. Carcia, as usual, will be on the laptop and responding to everyone with respect to what we're talking about. So please engage with us. Girl, what are you doing?
I'm just zooming in here and viewing our viewers who are viewing us. I'm just like, this is a moment. This is a moment. I'm like, capture.
It is a milestone because this is our first month again of the show. So we're excited.
I gotta take this.
We are excited
We did
about that.
it.
So this week's episode, you
5.
remember what it's called, right, girl? Okay. So episode 5 is
I'm gonna
called
hide my face.
Shh. Hiding in plain sight. You were close. So we're going to be talking about family secrets and the effects of family secrets. And so it's going to be a big topic. So we're going to talk about some things that might be controversial. And I shared my opinion with my ladies this week about one of the people that we're going to be discussing who's definitely controversial. So, one of the things we wanted to talk about, and I have my phone this week instead of my laptop, because it was very clunky. So
I don't know how you two do it.
listen, I just was
The
like,
phone
I'm
is just so much easier to deal with.
I love a good laptop.
I know you guys love your laptops.
I do. I brought my phone. I said, forget it. So, if you can see this book, Telly is holding up the book
Bring a
that
little
we
closer.
read this week for this show.
You know that girl.
You know who that is. And if you do not, Girls Trip, Tiffany Haddish, one of the funniest women I have listened to in a while. She's hilarious.
She's hilarious.
Oh my goodness. She's so funny.
She is hilarious. And, everyone that I spoke to, that was like, what are you up to? What are you doing? I'm like, well, I'm reading this book. Well, actually listening to the book. I got the audio version, and they were like, everybody, didn't matter the age, race,
didn't matter
where they came from, background. They were like, she's funny.
She's hilarious.
She is funny, and I was like, and
book.
I will never forget when I discovered her. Like this stand-up comedian, crazy as hell, and. Let me tell you, if you can get your hands on the book...
Please get the book.
Get it.
Read it. If you can get the audio version, listen, because the way how she delivers things...
I'm done.
Guys, I was like,
but
this
in a
girl
good
is
way.
insane.
She imitates the
And I love
voices.
her.
She'd be talking like how what I said, and then she'd be like, if it's like a guy, she'd be like, and it's like, oh my god, Tiffany. And then her life, it's just...
Listen.
I'm like, chick, are you making this up? But she's not.
She is a character, y'all. I don't even understand.
Listen, exactly what Telly was doing was what I was doing reading this book. I finished this book in no time. Okay, I was reading the book to the point where Tran, my daughter, walked out and was like, "What is wrong with you? Like, what is going on?" I'm like, "I'm reading this book." I could not stop laughing, and the funny part about it is her life is not funny.
It's not. Like, it's really sad,
it's
but
not.
just the way how she delivers it.
Yeah, her perspective
just like what, chick?
on life. Just a little clue. She takes everything, literally everything that's horrible, everything that is bad, she makes it into a joke, and you're like, why am I laughing at the fact that this woman has
been through so
been
much.
abused?
Was basically in full of
molested.
foster care.
Yeah.
Her mother is insane. Actually,
yes, her mother.
crazy.
Her grandma's kind of crazy.
Yeah,
too.
stepfather tried to kill them.
Yeah.
Like, husband was abusive.
Yeah.
Like, she put that all in this book,
The book
and
is-
I laughed from beginning
Guys,
to end.
I suggest everybody.
Everyone needs to get this book.
Everyone.
Rent it, buy it,
So,
listen
and
to
let's
it, whatever
be
you need
clear.
to do. Get this book.
You don't have to buy it. What we all did, and we're going to promote this. We went to the library.
Oh, and I found my library card, y'all.
Good.
I found it after I went to the library.
You got a new library card?
And got a new, library. Now they're so new age now. They're so
Very new age.
New tech, high tech.
They're high tech now.
You didn't even need a card.
So when we went to the library, Telly and I, we went to the library, went to Mississauga Central Library. What up, Square One?
What up?
And when we got there, we're like, yeah, we need a library card. So here's my driver's license. And they were like, okay, well, they did some stuff on the computer and they printed out a number and they're like, here you go. And it's like,
Where's the card?
Where's the rest of it?
oh, no. You check it out yourself. The computers are there. You just type in your number. And I'm like, oh, wow, okay. So then we went to the third floor.
Oh, the third floor.
The fourth,
Yes,
yeah, the third
the
floor.
third
floor.
This
The
was
library.
the
Yes,
central library.
Yeah, this library's gigantic.
It's a busy library. I was like, this is good. Yes, people are learning and reading and dropping knowledge on themselves.
Yeah,
Absolute.
so we went there and we asked for the book and they're like, oh, we only have one hard copy.
We're like,
and I was
okay.
like, okay, well, I guess both of us can read.
both
And she's
take
like,
turns
oh,
reading
no, we also have an audio version and we have a PDF version.
We're like, oh.
Which would you like?
So we
And
took
I'm
all
like,
three.
we'll take all three.
We got three. We took the hard
So
copy,
we
we
took
took
that.
the PDF, we took the audio.
Audio, and then the thing with the audio is Toshiba. Like,
I have to listen
my
to
phone
it.
is recording this, so I can't play it for you guys.
No.
But, God.
We got in the car.
We got in the car, and I turned it on. And within 3 minutes, I had
You
to
were
stop
done.
it and say, wait, what did she just say?
I'm like, girl, you heard right.
I'm like, let me
You heard what
rewind
she
it.
just said.
Rewound it, heard
She
it again.
said
I'm
it.
like, okay, she said what she said.
She said what she
Yes,
said.
basically. It's one of those where I was like, I had to put the book
like,
down at one
what?
point. I'm like, did this woman just say?
You go back and reread it. Like, let me read that again.
It's like, okay.
The book is hilarious. So, and again, we're going to be reading one book each month. And because, of course, we want you guys to get knowledge. And this is why we're talking about the library. You do not need to run out and buy it because I ain't got no money to be buying books
I don't really
all the
want to
time.
spend my
I
money
got a
on that.
bookshelf of books, but I don't have money to be, again, we
Preach.
self-employed.
Self-employed.
I ain't
You run a
got
budget.
$39.99 to go and buy these books plus the other books I got to do. No, we go to the library, get a library card, go check that crap out. You get it for 3 weeks. Go to a local library near you. We want you to make sure that you are able to read, get
That's
knowledge,
it.
all of that.
That's
So,
it.
That's it.
again, we got the book because, I had heard a little bit about her story, and I was like, I'm interested to learn more. And
Definitely.
boy, did we ever.
Oh, God.
Tiffany Haddish put her business out there like no other black woman I've ever seen put their business out there in my life.
You know, I want to tell her, though, good on her for the whole Roscoe thing. Because that was
Let's not go there yet. Let's not go there yet. Let's not go there yet. 'Cause- Okay, so I do
Oh my God,
want
you're
to say,
brave.
I do want to
You're a
say
very brave woman,
what
Tiffany.
I do like about Tiffany is
I love you for it.
she was very transparent.
Very.
She
transparent.
shared a lot of things
A
where
lot.
I know a lot of her family are not talking.
They're
about
not
her.
speaking to her.
There's
right
no
now.
way they're speaking
There's
to
no
her.
way.
There's
There's
no
no way.
If
Oh
you
my
read this
gosh.
book, you go, she
There's
lost
no
her
way.
entire family.
She did. I'm
For
sure she
She
did.
when I say
And if she
she was
didn't, that's a good ass family.
when I said she was authentic, she was
She let it all out.
Authentic.
She was all out. She didn't
Like,
even hold back nothing.
She did not hold back. There's even a point in the book where she
Not
says,
one.
I didn't think I should be writing this, but I wrote it anyways, right? Where she,
Girl.
and the reason I thought it was so amazing is because of this, going back to our topic, we hold all these secrets
Yes.
in our family. And I know that, I grew up in a household where you keep things inside your house, tell nobody outside.
Nope,
it's
that's
none of their
it.
business and all that stuff. So to read this book and have her put her whole business out there. And we don't want to give
Wow.
you too much away about the book,
Mhm,
but
yeah, true. You need
know,
to-
read the book if you haven't. But she really put some stuff out there. I think she's spoken about it publicly that she was molested.
Yes?
Now I'm gonna try not
No.
to. This is
Oh.
not funny.
We don't want to give away too much.
It's not funny,
But
but if you hear or
how
if you read her words or hear her, like, I'm not good at imitating people, but
Y'all, she's
like, when I was a foster kid.
Yeah, her boy. Like,
when I was in foster care, there was all these.
No, wait. Took it way too much.
No. So she was, no, we'll talk about it a little bit. So, okay. But so this is what happened. She was in foster care.
Yeah.
And she was at this home with this crazy ass woman. We won't even get to have crazy woman.
You gotta read the book for that.
Read the book for that part, but this crazy ass woman. Now, she wanted to grow her breast. Okay?
She wanted bigger boobs.
She wanted bigger boobs. She was 13. She wanted bigger boobs. And the father of the foster mom came to her at 13. So basically her foster granddaddy came to her and said, if I suck on your breast every single day, they will grow.
Get bigger.
She's 13. She know no better. Nobody's really advocating for her. So what does she do? She makes this old man suck on her breast. This is a real story. Suck on her breast for however long it was. Yeah. Now, fast forward 6 years.
She's now 19.
She's 19. And she's sitting down with her friend. Yeah. Like, we're sitting down here now. And I think her girl's like, I'd like to have bigger breasts. And she's like, just have somebody suck on them.
Yeah. And they're all looking at her like, what?
Just get somebody to suck on your tits, is what she said.
They're like, what are you talking about?
And they're like,
listen.
No, we were going to get surgery.
And she was like, no, because when I was 13, blah, blah, and she explains the story. And it's her friends that turn around and say, girl, you were molested.
Girl, you was molested. You was molested. That's what the friends said. I can't even listen
to the audio. Listen,
okay, the audio, when we're done recording, I'm going to play a bit of the audio for you. And you are going to be on the floor. Like
her voice.
Her voice.
God, she's so funny.
I just love how she delivers things.
She kills my stomach.
Her delivery.
She kills me.
The part where, she went to the police and said she was going to make a murder.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Because her ex-husband had
got into it and they
out of her.
fought.
She's like, I was about to make a murder. Like, she is, guys, I can't. I was like, I'm done. And
that's when she's like, when black women are mad and keep on repeating themselves and repeating the same words over.
I was gonna make a murder. I was gonna make a murder. Just put me in jail right now. I gotta kill him.
I'm like, oh my God, Tiffany.
And she was in front of the police station shouting this.
In front of a police station. So I did listen to the audio and I'm dying because I was dying just reading the book.
The book alone.
And the book.
The audio.
Again, I've read a lot of, I've read a lot of books in my 40 years.
Yes.
I'm a reader. I've got a great bookshelf. I've read autobiographies, all that stuff. This book was something that I wasn't expecting what I got. And the fact that she put it all out there, her family is definitely not talking to her. Members of her family are definitely talking to her. Because in our community, it's such a big thing to hold everything tight.
Yes.
You don't talk about things. You leave it inside your house. You go out, things could be really terrible in your house. You're supposed to smile and go out into the world and pretend.
As if nothing happened.
So when this woman puts out there that she was molested, she was emotionally abused, she was physically abused by her ex. Can we talk about Roscoe for a second?
I told you about Roscoe.
All we gotta say is Roscoe. If you just Google Tiffany Haddish Roscoe, this is hilarious.
Look up Roscoe.
Look up Roscoe.
I don't know if Roscoe's even alive anymore, but Roscoe.
She tells you a story about Roscoe, and it was hilarious. Okay, she talks about being a pimp. She was a pimp.
She was a pimp.
Real pimp. Like, she was a pimp in LA streets. Like, she talks about her mother going literally batshit crazy. Like, batshit crazy her mother went.
Yes.
Because her stepfather tried to kill them. Right? Like, it's so much
stuff in that
out
book.
there that I thought, wow, like, what a way to be open. However, I was shocked by it because I'm like, that's not normally what our community does.
No. We're used to keeping our mouth shut.
Yeah.
Keeping it all locked in and not saying a word to anybody.
Yeah.
That's our community.
Our community.
That's how we stay.
We are very much so. We have a sense of pride. Sometimes to our disadvantage. Because of that, we don't reveal certain things and we live in trauma.
Yep.
We wonder why some of us are stagnant, that we are not growing, we're not moving forward as much as we should, and it's because we're holding on to the past and we're not revealing it and letting it go, and we're not allowing our bodies and our spirits to be freed of things. And I'm sure Tiffany Haddish spent nights probably bawling after, revealing some of this stuff, but she's probably a better person for it.
I was gonna say, I think that after releasing all of this,
it's a lot.
Which is a hell of a lot. And then she had I mean, you're right, aside from the comedy of it, she did have a really heavy life. So to know that she was able to face that and pretty much like throw it out there and say, you know what, this is what happened to me, I am sure she feels a lot better.
And you said a word.
Lot more free.
Like, I remember that, I talk about a vision board, and we can talk more about vision boards again when we talk about business. That's going to come up later. But, when I was sitting there doing my vision board, after my 39th birthday, which was a year ago, I was looking for a word. I was like, what is a word? What am I feeling? What do I want? And I was having dinner with my brother. Shout out to my brother.
What up, bro?
I'm having dinner with my brother, and we're sitting there, and I said, freedom. What I'm looking for is freedom. The freedom to be authentically me. The freedom to be who I am. The freedom. And so the theme of my vision board, which is in my bedroom, I wake up every morning, is freedom. And so that's exactly what I thought.
Yes.
The level of freedom she must have to have just gotten that all off her spirit.
Yes. Oh, man. Girl.
Yes.
You know this.
Because it weighs on you.
Yes.
Those secrets, those things that you hold on to, they weigh on you.
You're so right. You know what it's like? It's like when someone is drowning and, they have all their clothes on. They're trying to get back to the top, but they can't because the weight of their clothing, the weight of them frisking around, they're just going deeper and deeper into their drowning situation. And then I'm sure that when she finally was able to come up for air, what a relief. Oh, yeah. At this point, if I were her, I wouldn't even care if my family ever talked to me again. I don't care. Yeah. I'm free. And sometimes you just gotta leave some people behind anyway. Because if they can't, they weren't there to help in the first place.
You can't take everybody.
The girl went through hell, and where was her family?
Well, nowhere. Her mother. So just to, again, we're gonna. We hope you read the book. Still read the book. Her grandmother, basically, at 18, she became homeless. Why did she become homeless? Her grandmother had taken her and her siblings in. And she was still property of the state. Right? So even though she was living with her grandmother, she was still a foster kid and she was property of the state. And so clearly her grandmother was getting money for her. When she turned 18, that money stopped. So her grandmother basically said to her, you go to school, go away to school. She got accepted into NYU. She was like, I ain't got no money for no NYU. They're not giving me a scholarship. Or you go figure it out. So she was literally on people's couches, going to community colleges, couch surfing, trying to figure out, doing comedy, trying to get it together.
Scraping, struggling, doing whatever she could do.
Living in her car, she
was at the rock bottom.
She gave it all to us. She told us everything.
Yes.
And I finished the book thinking, what an amazing thing to no longer have that heavy burden. Other people would be like, Lord mercy, she put her business out there with a God, whatever her family's going to say. But we can't live for everybody else because
that part.
The secret, is it selfish or selfless? Because that's a question I had here right now.
So,
is it selfish
to keep secrets?
To keep a secret.
Okay, so,
or is it selfless? Because I don't want. I know something that could impact your life. I don't want you to find out, so I'm going to hold on to it. But am I doing it for me? Am I doing it for you? I don't know.
So, yeah, I thought of that question a lot. And, I thought of it in two different perspectives. So I thought of it in the perspective of someone keeping a secret to keep someone in the dark for their own
safety.
For their own. And there is a part of me where it's like, this person is actually better off not knowing. And I bring up, there's a movie called Tell Me Who I Am. That's the name of the documentary. This documentary is about twins. One twin got into an accident. He had amnesia. And because of the amnesia, it was totally wiped out that him and his brother were actually being sexually assaulted by their mother. Guys, this is a really rough story.
It's a heavy story.
But it's a very interesting documentary because they are now grown. They're 50 plus. And it's interesting to see how this, just learning of this now, how broken the twin is now knowing that he was sexually molested. Now, his brother knew, obviously, that they were molested. But when he saw that his brother was ignorant towards it and had no idea it happened, he was like, oh, I'm not going to tell him. I'm going to keep this a secret because he's so happy. And this is how he would have ended up if he was never assaulted. And I want this to last forever. So I'm never going to tell him that we were sexually molested by our mother. And they go through life living this way. And you look at it now, and I think I try to put myself in this situation. If I was a sibling and I knew something was happening to another sibling and they forgot about it, would I go back and say, hey, remember when? I'd be like, no. I would, and I don't know, this might be wrong, but I would probably keep it a secret.
Keep it a secret.
And is it selfish? Probably. Because it brings me joy to know that this person is living a happier life, not
It's good for them too. I mean,
it works out for them,
it's
but
bad. But
I would say,
time,
in a way, it's a bit selfless. But you're also doing it because you love that person,
right? And you see how they're excelling in life. I mean,
yeah.
When something happened to someone, especially when you're a kid, especially when the kid's like 2 or 3 and they were molested or something. I mean, that's horrible. But to know, like, you know, that kid grows up, they didn't know whatever happened to them. And you know, as like a parent or the niece or the nephew, whatever, and you see that person excelling in life and they're a go-getter and they're doing it and they're getting it. And you see them living this happy life and you're like, wow, I feel really good. But at the same time, you feel like it's your duty to tell them. So you tell them, but then just telling them that, their whole life shifts. And they go from being this happy, go-lucky, positive person to becoming a complete shell of themselves. And they're broken, and they're on drugs, now they're on the street. God knows. Yeah, all because you told them the truth.
Ignorance is bliss.
Ignorance is bliss. But that, it's.
But is it the right thing?
It's the right thing to do.
I'm not saying it's right to keep.
Is it right or is it wrong?
But I'm also saying it's not wrong.
Yeah, it's you know what? It's interesting because.
I don't know.
Of course, I didn't research as much on this show because it's a heavy show and I think we could have just talked a lot about it without the research and so forth. But, you know, as I was just watching something quickly and then I heard about Terrell Owens. Most of you will know Terrell Owens is a football player. Terrell Owens' secret was that his dad lived across the street the entire time and he did not know that. His dad had a whole ass family.
Remember,
across the street.
Wow.
How bizarre is that?
Wow.
Your father, for all your life, has been living across the street.
Wow.
Across the street.
No.
Wow. So his father didn't know. Literally
the house across his driveway.
Right?
Okay.
His mother never told him. And of course, later on in his life, he finds out. I didn't dig too much in it. But, you know, I look at that and I think, who did that benefit?
Right.
Did it benefit Terrell the child? Because I'm thinking about him the child who would have watched his father, the neighbor, play with the other kids and do all these things and living his life with that family. Would it have been better for Terrell Owens, the young boy, to know that this was his father, or did it benefit him to not know? Right?
Not know?
Was his mother right or wrong for not telling him that his daddy lived right across the street? Like across, it's not like he didn't know what it was across the street.
He was very well in sight.
And you know, this is gonna sound horrible, but sometimes, and I'm just a believer in this, you know, puzzle pieces put together a picture.
Right. And
maybe his life wouldn't have turned out the way it did in the positive space if he knew. Maybe his life was better off not knowing. And I know that sounds horrible, but
that's okay. It is your opinion,
and
right?
You know what,
it's
now being abandoned. That's not cool.
That ain't cool.
And knowing where, you know, knowing that, oh, my dad's across the street and he's
don't care about me.
Doesn't care about me.
Family,
that's rough.
That's
and
really
to carry
hard.
that as a kid, that's depression 101, y'all. That is the first way to set yourself up for some trauma.
And I think that's probably what his mom was thinking. Like, we don't know the reason. Like, we're not her, so we don't know. But everyone has a reason for why they don't share things.
Yeah.
We are right to our own opinions of them.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Like, maybe that's what the mom thought.
Maybe that's what she thought.
You know what? I think people always think that they are doing the best thing they can in the situation, like the hand that they're being dealt. This
right.
is the best I can do in the hand that I'm being dealt. And it's like, you know, I'm going to play devil's advocate. Is that my decision to make, to not tell my child about their father? And for a young black man, again, I didn't go too much, and I don't know what the family structure was. I don't know about the stepfather, if there was one. I didn't go too much in there. But this is your daddy. Like, it's your daddy. Right? And here's a man, he's, you know, probably going to all the football things and doing all the stuff. And he's watching, again, his father play with these other kids. And he doesn't know,
he's like Santa Claus.
Was that her plate? Because really, as a mother, am I being selfish? Like, I laid down with this man, and irregardless of whatever happened with my relationship with this man, he's still my child's father.
Right.
And it is important that my child has a foundation to know who her father or his father is. Right? I say her because I have a daughter, but like, you know, I couldn't imagine being a mother and not letting my daughter know who her father is, especially when he's in such close proximity.
I think it is in a way, and I think
across the street.
Yeah, I think in a way it is a selfish thing, because when you say, "Well, that's your dad over there across the street," your child is going to say, "I have some questions." And you're gonna have to answer that.
Exactly.
So it is a selfish thing at that point. Because the mother doesn't want to answer those things. She just wants to live her life.
In my opinion, I think it's selfish, and I hope I'm not offending anyone who might be in a situation.
Right. I mean, to each their own.
But
it's our opinion.
But it's
but what follows after you reveal that's your dad over there
are questions.
Are going to be loads of
questions
that you have to be ready to answer.
Are questions. Lots and lots of questions, right? Like, even just being a single mother or a single parent by itself, your kid has questions. So to have a single parent and then an absentee parent, like, there's single because you guys are not in a relationship, and then there's having absentee fathers or absentee mothers, because there's also absentee mothers, right? Like, so if I know that I can bridge this gap for my child of giving them, because that's 50% of you've lost.
Yes.
I couldn't imagine saying to my daughter, well, I don't know where your father is, but he's up the street or across the street in this situation, because a piece of her is always missing. So again, yes, I could be being completely selfless because I don't want that, but in that situation, I agree. I think it's selfish because you're right. You don't want to have to answer those very difficult questions of, okay, why is daddy across the street? Like, what is going on here? But, and you have to face your own demons. And a lot of the times we don't want to face our own demons, and therefore it's just easier to lock it up, because if I forget about it, exactly, life goes on. But then you're living this fallacy. It's false.
It is. And the child should have the right to know who their father or their mother is.
But the man to go street.
The man got the street. But you know, this is, I mean, it's not strange to us, because unfortunately in our community, you know, I'll think that my mom is my mom, and then I grow up and learn that my mom was my auntie. That's
guys,
just...
like, this is a normal.
Let's get real here.
This is a normal theme.
It's a normal theme in our community.
That's within our community.
That's how we roll.
It's like
my uncle.
I thought my
really
mom
dad.
was my sister. And, you know,
I was gonna lean in.
Now, I'm not saying that about my mom.
Well, no, I mean,
but I mean, you know,
I know too many stories. We know too many people that have that theme.
Okay, I'm gonna tell you my story, and my mom will probably watch this. I'm very clear. I found out who my real mother is because her mother showed me a picture and said, "This is your mom." I was 5 years old. This is your mommy. I'm like, that's not my mom. I know my mom is.
Right?
Now, you're not going to reveal too much, but essentially I was raised by my father and somebody else. And, you know, my family ended up emigrating from Jamaica to the U.S. And then, you know, my dad felt it's best that I know my mother's side of the family because he worked really hard. So I would go to my mother's side of the family during the week. He would pick me up on the weekend and we would have our time. And at 5 years old, I literally got a picture and said, "This is your mom."
Yeah. And of course, you were like, wait a minute, what's going on here? There was not a sit down. There was not a, would I have been better off not knowing? No, clearly, I need to know my mom. Because I eventually came to Canada and lived with my mom. However, the reality is, like, she could have done that in a different way. Right? There was a different way that could have been
done to a 5-year-old because that's imprinted in my mind.
Yeah.
Yes, I needed to know who my mother was. I had lived a very, and it's interesting because having been someone that's happened to, I lived a perfectly great life over here with, my father and my stepmother and my siblings, and other family members on this side. But that, again, this was a life that I had, but I also had another life over here.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And I needed to know that life. And I love my mommy. Hi, mommy. She'll probably watch this. Like, I love my mom.
We love you, Mama Sheba.
Right? And it's I needed to know who my mom was, but that was not the way to reveal to a 5-year-old that this is your mom by showing me a picture.
Well, I'm sure you were like, what the hell?
I talked about that shit in therapy.
That's not my mom.
Yeah,
my mom is this woman over here. What the flip?
Yeah.
Why from the switch on me?
I can't reveal like too much because I know I'll get dragged up, but I have family members where they were like, I was literally standing at the bus stop at Jamaica, and a woman was looking at me, and I eventually just learned that woman staring at me was actually my sister.
See, this is why you gotta make sure who you're marrying is not related to you.
Yeah, and it was
you could be marrying your cousin, or even worse, you could be marrying your brother or your sister.
Within the family, there's a strong look that you could literally, like, I could tell who my cousin is from 60 miles away because there's a look.
And I think every family has that.
Yeah, I think every family has it. And learning, it is not rare within our community to learn that, that person's actually your cousin. Oh,
that person's your brother.
That person's your mom. Oh, you know what? That person's your dad. That guy that just dropped off some milk, that was actually your dad. And yeah, he dropped off the milk.
Don't date that guy because that guy's actually your cousin.
Say hi to you because he doesn't actually love you. So, and that's
the thing. It happens so frequently.
In 2020, it's still before. I mean, people could say, "Oh, you have to blame it on society at that time," and da 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 da. Right, but here we are in 2020, and it's still happening.
It's still happening,
right? And it's interesting because I'm gonna move to the what's gonna be the controversial part. Of this discussion.
Viewer discretion advised.
I'm just gonna go there and I'm gonna talk about R. Kelly. Okay.
Robert.
Okay. So exactly. So there's Robert, and there's R. Kelly. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna go back and talk about Robert for a second. Now, I clearly, and most of you probably watched the Surviving R. Kelly. I watched part 1. I taped part 2.
Lifetime,
it's on the repeat,
guys,
right? And
and so I watched part 1. I was gonna watch part 2. I know I taped it somewhere. I just haven't watched it yet. So I can tell you, watching part 1 of Surviving R. Kelly, it was interesting for me to hear all the stories and so forth. And I actually did my own personal post after, because I had also dated he's a narcissist, right? For all intensive words, R. Kelly, we're talking about R. Kelly right now, is a narcissist, and so forth and so on. And I kind of revealed about what it was like when I dated a narcissist and what happened. Now, my biggest takeaway, however, from that was no one protected Robert. No one protected Robert. No. Robert the child.
Right.
Okay. Here was a young man who at 10 years old was molested by a male family member, and later on at 14 years old was molested by a female family member, and no one did anything to protect Robert, who eventually becomes R. Kelly, who now is this very villainized person that everybody hates, and the Me Too movement is all against him. But I want to talk about Robert, because had someone protected Robert, would we need Surviving R. Kelly?
Yeah, so when we talked about this, I said everything has a genesis.
Yes.
Genesis meaning the beginning, right? The reason why we have people... I'm not a psychiatrist, so I'm not diagnosing.
You're my psychiatrist.
I am an unofficial psychiatrist to many people, including my sister and friends.
I need these two. I need all the help I can get.
However, there is a genesis to everything. And I am a firm believer that a lot of people would not be sitting in jail today. A lot of people would not be known as sexual predators if they were protected in some state of trauma as children.
As children.
Most people that end up as pedophiles have usually been victims.
They have been.
Of pedophiles.
And sadly, you know, we were talking about this during one of our production calls. We were saying, you know, when a child does even go to tell their mom or their dad, you know what, Uncle so-and-so did this to me.
We know what happens.
Okay.
My brother would never do that.
Okay.
My sister would never do that. You
Okay.
liar. I rebuke you.
Oh, Jesus. Let's not go to the rebuke. That's Greenleaf,
guys.
guys.
Greenleaf. If you haven't watched Greenleaf, it's on Netflix. Do watch it. That's something
That's some Greenleaf stuff.
Here is the thing. I think we need to. It's so easy to villainize R. Kelly.
It is.
And yeah, he did some bad
really
shit.
bad crap.
That's some bad shit.
He did.
He did. Like, let's not take away from
Let's not
fact
take away from the fact
that the man has a problem.
Yeah, we know, and we know he has a problem.
He's demented.
And yeah.
However, Robert the child was not protected. Robert the child should have been put in a place where he did not have to endure the things that he did so that he wouldn't inflict pain on other people and their family. And I'm even going to bring it back closer to home. So if you guys don't know Troy Crossfield, Crossfield House Promotions, Productions
Yes.
on Promotions. So Troy has a play that he turned into a movie called Little White Lie. And I had the pleasure of going to see it earlier this month, actually. It was at Harborfront. And I'm going to give it away because you should watch it anyways. But essentially, it is, again, Genesis. You see, you know, Troy's character as an older man, and you see the things that he's battling with because he's in this battle with himself, right? And it then is later revealed that what happened to him is that he was sexually molested by the father. And there is a very powerful scene where he is talking with his brother in the kitchen. And you find out that through, you know, the flashback that his brother tried to protect him by rushing in and saying to the father, no, take me, take me, take me, take me. It's very powerful, right? So he knows that his brother, Troy's character, is going to be molested, and his brother rushes in and says, you know, take me. And it's interesting because you see that they have grown up and they have this bit of a conflict. Now, the powerful part is in that scene, it gets revealed that this entire time, his mother knew that he had been molested by his father.
Of course.
Right.
Why is this not shocking?
And then the scene goes into the mother basically saying that she tried to pray it away.
She prayed it away. And did she hear the Lord saying, get your kid out of here?
Well,
What did she want Jesus to do?
She wasn't really listening, I think.
Reach down and just...
So, you know, it was such a powerful scene because we had already decided that we were going to do the show, and I'm sitting there, I'm like, oh my God, like, one, I thought there was another part about being authentic, right? We don't normally see in our community where people are going to produce anything like that. And again, Troy, big up to Troy. He's doing great things. Please, you know, if Troy has anything in the city, you go and you support that because he's doing amazing things. Like, he is going to be at the level that Tyler Perry is. Like, I'm already putting that out there. I've called it for you, Troy. Like, he's like, what he's done is amazing. I thought it was so amazing that he made it so raw. Yes. Like, it was a raw... We don't talk about this in our community, right? We don't talk about, especially in the West Indian community, we don't talk about
Hell
this.
No.
And so you have this scene where this mother who's now... Let me be clear. The mother's now dying of cancer.
Oh, God.
And this is how so he comes back home because the mother's dying of cancer.
Right.
And now this is like, you know, almost like a deathbed confession. Like, she's about to go, and then she reveals to her son, I didn't protect you. Because basically what that said to me is, I didn't protect you. I was hoping that God would. I prayed it away.
Okay, you know what? Like, I mean, we were talking about this too. This whole, like, deathbed confession foolishness, it needs to stop. You don't want to protect me until you're already half dead? That's when you decide you want to confess all this crap to me?
Again, back to the question of, is it selfless or selfish?
Like,
in that situation, it is selfish because
you're dying of cancer.
In order to do something, in order to
Okay.
do something about a situation like that, you as the mother, as the wife, you have to get up and say,
come on from the picnic.
Thank you.
Right. And I married a child molester. And
Take
now
charge.
I need to go to the police.
Take your picnic and go to the
take your ass
police.
to jail and admit that I made a mistake. And again, pride and ego stops us from doing the right thing.
Because you're going to say, oh, what if my neighbors see me? What if the church people find out?
Let's go back, because we talked about religion last week. I'm going to go back, because that was my big thing about that scene, because it happens so often that I'm just going to pray it away. I'm going to pray it away. I'm going to pray it away. I'm going to pray it away. And you don't want people to know, but I'm going to pray it away. Pray what? What are you going to pray? Is prayer going to lift the man off of your picnic?
They must think so.
Was that what's going to happen? It's going to, like, that doesn't happen.
What God's going to do is give you the strength to go and collect your child.
You need to make an action.
Because again, it's an action word. Like
it's an action word.
You have faith that God's going to do something.
Okay,
so you get up and
you
go to the police station.
You take your picnic and go to the police station and report it. Get the man arrested. He's a molester.
So because of this, we need to keep this in the house. We need to not tell anybody. You know, you see how that impacted this character.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
This is why, again, I brought it back to R. Kelly and Robert.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Again, Genesis.
Yeah.
That was the genesis of the R. Kelly of
persona.
Today that has, again, ruined other people's life.
Yeah, it's a cycle. It's like a domino effect. His life was ruined, so now he's going to pass on to someone else.
I want to delve a bit into the now R. Kelly situation. And I remember I was chatting with a girl. I was chatting with one of my Caucasian girlfriends. And she asked me, she was like, hey, did you see the Surviving R. Kelly thing? And I'm like, yeah. And she's like, I need to talk to somebody. I'm like, let's talk. And she said, the first thing she said is, how did he get away with it for so long?
Because they were black.
And I said to her, I'm like, see, that's the first problem.
That's the first mistake.
In our community, for instance, guys, I knew that Harvey Weinstein has been a pig since I was 10 years old.
Yeah. It was everyone.
It was
knew.
a very public thing.
Public.
That he loved being around beautiful women and loved
touching up,
using
feeling
his
up
power.
everything you could
But
find.
there was no Me Too movement in the
Back
90s
then.
and the 80s.
No.
So he was getting away with a lot of stuff.
Got rid of too much.
R. Kelly, what he had going for him was that we like secrets. For instance, during Surviving R. Kelly, and I'm still mad, we've got all these black people on camera admitting...
Yes, on camera.
Yeah, I was at the Aaliyah R. Kelly wedding. Yeah, I knew she was 15.
I
watched the wedding happen.
I forged it. I pretended she was 19.
I helped with the paperwork so it would go through, and then I sat down and watched the wedding happen too. And I'm sitting here and I'm like, so when are the police going to come in and arrest these people?
Because they didn't do one thing.
They were accessories to child molestation.
But they're all right. They're sitting in their house.
And to me, I'm like, wow. So we went ahead and even protected someone that was a victim of child molestation by helping it happen.
Even the parents, like after he got off the first time, and the parents were like, oh yeah, okay, we trust R. Kelly to take our child and make her into the next Whitney Houston. Go ahead, R. Kelly. Okay. And then they come back on TV and cry.
Again, secrets, right? Because up till this day, it's still like, people are like, oh, did Aaliyah marry R. Kelly? Like, it was kept a secret.
Yes.
It was kept a secret, and some people only learned that it happened. If you're not a part of the urban, community, you wouldn't have known. But now all the world knows that,
this 27, I think it was 27 at the time.
Yes.
Married a 15-year-old
girl. A little girl.
Child.
A little...
A picnic. She was a picnic. For people who don't know what a baby is,
that's a child.
She was a baby.
Someone that is well under 18 years old.
She was still developing.
And he went out of his way, got his friends to help him to marry a child.
Because R. Kelly got money, and he's their meal ticket. Do you think they're gonna say no to the king of R&B?
And that was kept a secret as much as it could have been. And if it wasn't for things like the R. Kelly documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, if it wasn't for things like TMZ and all this stuff, we probably would have never known.
No, the secret would have continued.
And here's people who are being paid to keep all of these secrets that actually affected people's life. Let me tell you something. R. Kelly probably wouldn't recognize his name on a piece of paper unless you told him it was a thing. The man was illiterate. He couldn't read. So who was booking hotels?
So someone was doing this for him.
Who was booking flights? Who was putting together materials? It was the people who wanted to keep these secrets for him because
they need that money. They're on his payroll.
And it's so crazy that no one's really said, yo, this dude needs some help.
Thank you.
Because again, even if Robert wasn't protected and Robert grew into R. Kelly,
right?
R. Kelly could have still been helped.
Oh, yes. Yes.
And
absolutely.
had people decided to help R. Kelly now.
To interject and say,
dude, you need some help.
Dude, what you're doing right now is wrong.
But
these young girls haven't seen their parents in 6 months.
They need to go home. You need help, R. Kelly.
I'm going
and
to
that's the thing. They had pure yes people around. No one said no to him. No one.
That's another show in itself.
Thank you. No one said no.
The yes man.
The yes men. And trust and believe. They'll come out as soon as they get $1. They come out of hiding.
And it's
they come out.
And what that did
because they want that lifestyle.
To families and like these women are now broken.
Oh, geez.
Right.
Yes.
So you had somebody who was broken.
Yes.
Who tried to put themselves, and in some ways, Robert put himself into R. Kelly and branded that set real good. Listen, it's very difficult for me to listen to some R. Kelly, but any of my friends would tell you, I love some Step in the Name of Love.
Yeah.
I could be in a restaurant, that song would come on, I'm getting up from my table, and I'm stepping.
Back in the
Chicago
day, girl,
two-step.
absolutely.
Okay, I'm doing it right
absolutely.
now. Doing my Chicago two-step, okay?
And that's the sucky part. When an artist that you know is so good, and they mess up, and you're just like, dude, like...
Right?
I can't listen to you now. And then you try to separate the artist from the
man.
The man. And then I try to, but then it's like, oh, I can't get it on my mind.
So it was, all of these secrets on top of secrets on top of secrets ruined people's lives.
Yeah, like, anyone that he could touch, anyone that's connected to him, their lives are done.
These lives were ruined.
Destroyed.
All because nobody protected Robert. Now, am I 100% certain that he wouldn't have turned out to be this person? No, I'm not.
I'm not.
However, again, the genesis, had he been protected, it was less likely that he would have been this man that now is likely going to go to jail for a very long time. Right?
Right.
And then ruined young girl's life. His wife, ruined her life. Like, his children, the impact on his children.
Everyone
now that surviving R. Kelly. Like, all of these things just catapulted because they weren't protected. And, we talked about something, and we're going to delve into this one, about listening to your kids. Let me tell you something about our community. Let me tell you something. I have an 18-year-old, and when she was a kid, babies and dogs. Okay, I'm just gonna say, babies and dogs.
They don't lie.
Have a real good sense about them.
They do.
Okay?
They don't lie.
And when you're handing off your child to somebody and they're screaming and crying, take back your pick-me.
Okay.
Okay? Yeah. Their spirit doesn't like that person.
Right.
If your 5-year-old little girl doesn't want to sit on grandpa such and such's lap,
don't force them.
Guys, there's a word that since 2019, I've been using this word, and my word is boundaries.
And nothing wrong
As an adult, I have boundaries.
Absolutely.
But guess what? Your kids have boundaries too.
Boundaries.
And if your child does not want to kiss auntie on the lips,
stop trying to tell your kid to do that.
Stop forcing them.
Why are you forcing them?
Stop pushing them towards auntie.
What would it do for their life if they kiss auntie on the lips?
They're going to get $1 billion? What's it going to benefit? You want a picture? They don't want to kiss their auntie.
Your kid's telling you something.
Yeah, there's something that
your kids are telling you
they don't like
something. And a lot of the times in our community, it's considered a sign of disrespect if I am trying to set my own boundaries. No, you mustn't do that because this and they rate. I don't care. If my child, let me tell you something. If my child, and she's now 18, if she even made, again, when she was a baby, and if I get, and she went,
you take her back.
Take my pick-me back.
Exactly.
If she says, "Mommy, I'm not
You're
doing
listening
it,"
to her.
because at the end of the day, my child is setting her own boundaries, and I have to listen to it. It's not a sign of disrespect. Stop putting your picnic on people's lap and tell them to go to such and such, and goes, no, don't do it. Because if your child is showing you, like, because sometimes they're so scared to say stuff, but they're showing you they're uncomfortable. There's just something that's a little off. Yeah. Believe it. There's probably something that's off, because the person may not have done anything to your child right then, but there's again, babies and dogs. Like if you have a dog, and when a dog starts circling around a certain person or barking when that person is around, and they never do that, their spirit is trying to tell you something about that person.
And exactly, and you know, you have to be there for your child in a way that it's more than just go here, do that, do this. There needs to be a sort of thing where it's like, my child knows what they like and what they don't like.
That's it.
And if, for instance, how would I feel if someone came up to me, oh, you go kiss your uncle right now? I'd be like, I don't want to go kiss my uncle. Yeah. It's like, go kiss your uncle on the lip. Like, think about how silly that looks
my uncle on
to
the
do
lip?
that for me, a grown woman, to go do that. Like, even now I have boundaries. It's like, I don't want to hug that person. I don't want to say hi to that person.
I don't want to hug anybody.
I want to keep my distance and stand over here. And there's nothing wrong with that.
No.
And we need to give our children that space. This is a subject that I'm very passionate about, because I think that we don't listen enough to our children. We think, oh, you're not 18, so
do as I say.
You have no idea what you're feeling.
You know what you're feeling.
No
if I tell you to go kiss grandpa, you go kiss grandpa.
Yeah, it's like, listen, the kid doesn't want to kiss grandpa.
They and kids, it's interesting because, you know, you talk about that, and it's like, you know, there's so much going on, but listening to your kids, because you should know your kid. And if you don't know your child, that's a bit of a problem, right? You should know, because a lot of people say, well, I don't want to, because such and such, and I don't want to lose this. And again, Greenleaf, I didn't even watch the whole show. You guys do, but I hear about Greenleaf and the stuff that happens in that. But at what point do you... Our job is to protect our children. I know that when I had this child, I said, my job is to protect her. That is my one sole job. And it is the most important job I got of everything, was to nurture and protect my child. And part of doing that is understanding who your child is. Yes, there are a lot of kids that lie. You know, we look at the most recent case with that teacher, in Durham, and the picnic lie. I can only imagine the kid was not, and was probably this,
he was.
And this is why that it was believed, and the poor woman wasn't even talked to or like I read the rest of the story today, and I'm like, this is so ludicrous that they really thought that in front of 30 other kids she was giving this kid a hand job underneath. Like, it's so crazy, right? So yes, there are situations where you have to use your common sense and go, that doesn't make a lot of sense.
No,
right. However, start looking into it. I'm not saying that, you know, like, if my child came to me and said, my teacher did this, I'd be like, okay, all right, well, I'm gonna look more into this. We're gonna talk to someone and see what we can do.
Investigate
this. I am not going to say my child is a liar and, like, just immediately get up and be like, you're a liar! And you know what I mean? I'm gonna say, okay, I've got two hats on right now. I'm going to be a mom, but I'm also going to be an investigator. And I'm going to reach out and try to figure this out.
What really happened.
To see get to the bottom of this, get to the truth.
Did you really touch my picnic?
Because I need to still, even in a situation where the child might be lying, I still need to stand here and be like, well, I'm your mom, and I'm here to protect you.
That's it.
But if you went and told a lie on somebody, I'm going to find that out too.
Okay.
So...
And we're not just going to pray it away.
No, we're not. We're going to figure it out for real by doing stuff.
Thank you.
So it's just, I just think it's an interesting, you know, like that boundaries thing we could talk over and over and over and over again, because I find that is a big thing in our community with children and not allowing them to have boundaries, because again, you do as I say or not what I do. Like, it's all of these sayings that we have in our community, and kids are meant to be silent and not to really have a voice. That's like, I've raised my daughter to have a voice. Like,
as it should be.
I've raised her to be able to speak and set her own boundaries. Even as small as, I mean, back in the day, I used to call her my mini-me. And I think she was maybe 11 or 12, and she sat me down, had a real sit-down conversation and said, Mom, I don't like the fact that you call me that, because you're actually setting me up to be like you. And that's not fair. Like, I am my own person. Immediately I stopped calling her my mini-me because she was right. She's right. By doing that, and even when her grandmother puts her in a situation, she's like, well, your mother. She's like, but I'm not my mother, right? I'm me. I'm Trianne. This is who I am.
She has her own footprint. She has her own fingerprint. She's her own
Imagine
person.
I didn't said, shut up about, you don't know what you're talking about. Yeah, just pick me. Like, no, I had to actually take that and say, you know what? Because by doing that, I'm changing the landscape of your life because I'm trying to set you up to be something that you don't want to be. Yeah. So with anything, she's 18, and to this day I still sit down and have discussions with her because she has a mind, she has a mindset, she has an opinion. Her own.
That's it. And good on you too for letting her do that, letting her be her. Because as you know already, a lot of our people,
they don't.
We love to just box us upside the head and say, no, you're my mini-me. You're gonna stay my mini-me. You're gonna do as I say, and so the ball just keeps going and going. But that's good on you for allowing Trey to be her own woman because.
I had to, but she had a voice, right?
She had a voice to express that.
And I had to be able to allow her to express that, and that's part of that.
And she wasn't afraid to say that to you. She wasn't,
because I had given her that space, and it's such a scary thing. I can imagine her at 11, 12, she was in that range to sit down and talk to her mother, but she did that, and it was incumbent on me to listen, to create that safe space. Are we creating a safe space for our children? Did Robert have a safe space? Did Terrell Owens have a safe space? Did Tiffany Haddish have a safe space?
Clearly not.
Did The Rock, there's so many people that go through
I could name
find out.
There's a lot. This show would never end if we kept on the names.
Right? And did they have a safe space? And sometimes the answer to that is no, because we like secrets, right? Secrets is just it. And then again, you talk about the deathbed confessions. Like,
it needs to stop. That's what it needs to do.
I can't with the deathbed confessions.
It needs to stop.
Right? Like, I think
you want to protect me now after you're half dead? What use are you now?
That's the thing, and that's why, again, we go back to selfish or selfless.
Yeah.
Selfish, because you're dying, you no longer have to answer the question.
Because you're already halfway in the grave. I'm still alive, and now I have to live with this new secret just told me.
So they loaded it off on you.
So they can die in peace.
They can die in peace.
And now we have to suffer with it.
And it's worse because now the person that could have answered any questions you have has passed. So that is why, at the end of the day, and again, I will say it, if the genesis of a child's life is secrets, they're going to end up breaking someone else's life.
Absolutely.
A lot of murders, a lot of sexual crimes and whatnot cases, they would have never happened
because of their genesis.
The
way how they were brought up,
taken care of the way they should have been.
And it's sad because it becomes a cycle.
It does.
It's a continual cycle, and when will it break? Because now the thing is, these young people who have experienced that, and imagine that your first sexual experience is based on trauma.
Oh my goodness.
Right. That's how you associate sex, right? R. Kelly's first Robert's first sexual experience at 10 years old was trauma. That a male family member molested him. So he associated that. That was trauma. It was not pleasant. Your first sexual experience should, one, be your choice. And, we all had it, and isn't always pleasant, but it's your choice. You made that decision, that conscious decision, that I want to do that. If that is forced upon you, that again imprints on your life. There's an imprint that happens.
It is. It messes with your DNA. It messes with your finger. It messes with you.
And that's how you now associate intimacy. And sex, it's control, because now you've got this elder who is you're 10. If a 35-year-old man or 25-year-old man, a grown man or a grown woman is violating you, you now associate that power dynamic, right? There is, with the molestation and the pedophilia and rape, it's a power dynamic. It's a power struggle. It's generally not about the sex. No. It's about the power. And now you saw R. Kelly. What did he do? Power dynamic.
Power dynamic.
Yeah. He had and he had power in a big way because he had fame, he had money, he had influence, he had all of that stuff. So he created also now his own power dynamic because when he was 10 and 14, and who knows what else happened that we don't know, there was a power dynamic that happened, and that's how he associated things.
Yes.
And so he turned into R. Kelly, this man who used this power dynamic to literally ruin all of these women's lives.
Yes.
And it's sad because had, again, Robert been protected,
wouldn't have happened. Probably not.
We wouldn't have had R. Kelly surviving 1, 2, and 3, 4, and how many other ones are yet next?
No, and he definitely wouldn't be sitting in prison right now.
No, he'd probably be on tour somewhere.
And another thing,
we can step in the name of love without the consciousness of saying, "Oh my God, I'm stepping," but this man,
you know, and the thing
it's a rough step.
The thing is too is that because of this, as an artist myself, now we don't get to experience his artwork because of that brokenness, which is it's sad. Because take away all the bad stuff.
His music
was an incredible artist.
He was good. He's a great artist.
His music
he was gifted. I mean, his teachers told him that he was gifted.
He was an incredible artist.
They said, this is the Beethoven of our time. This is the Mozart of our time. And now he's wasting away in jail.
Good talent gone to waste.
Because of brokenness
and
of childhood trauma.
So let's stop keeping secrets. We need to really consider some of these secrets that we have in our family. And yes, I get it that sometimes it is what needs to happen, just like in your situation with that documentary. That young man was better off not knowing throughout his life that his mother was a piece of, by molesting him. However, some of it, like we talked about in Terrell Owens and other things, it's a selfishness. It's you don't want to have to answer questions because of decisions that you made. We all make decisions that we're not proud of. But our children and other people around should not be impacted. We should be able to own that and say, I'm not going to impact, especially when you have a child. You're supposed to protect that child. And no, that is not protecting. Not telling your child who their father is or their mother is not actually protecting them. You're actually creating more harm for them.
It's more
because now they're 18, 25, 36, 42, whatever. And now they are reconsidering their entire life because they learned something that and shatters their entire existence of life.
So sad.
And now they're sitting on a therapist's couch trying to reconcile.
The therapist can't help them either. Because how does one come back from that? How?
My father was living across the street this entire time.
How does someone come back? Oh, okay, well, I guess I'll just go over now and introduce myself as a 40-plus-year-old person. I was going to go over and say, hey, what up? How does one come back from that?
You don't.
You can't.
You don't.
Didn't need more than therapy for that.
That's just a part of your life story now.
That's just...
And it's a part of your life story. Okay.
Yeah.
Again, so
her life story.
We're going to end this on a light note.
Her life story.
Check this book out.
Please. Go to the library. Buy it if you want. It is worth the actual buy.
Yeah.
But go
to Audible.
library.
If you have an Audible subscription, have a listen. Like,
oh my God.
Honestly, I said to these two, this could be a series.
It needs to be a Netflix series. Netflix, I know you're listening
they
because
could
you want us to be a series as well.
Of this.
You need to not only make us a thing, but you need to make her a thing as well. Her life needs to be a Netflix
It's
series.
Hilarious.
I love it.
It's so funny.
It's authentic. It's real, and we could learn a lot from what she did. This was her therapy, right?
She did.
She took everything in her life, and she's smiling, she's beautiful.
She's a black unicorn.
But the reality, she went through some stuff, those secrets could have changed the trajectory of her life. Yes. It is a good thing that she used her humor, but again, if you read the book and hear what happened, she almost died.
Yes.
Yeah.
She almost died.
She did.
Almost literally died because, again, secrets in the family, and my son wouldn't do that, and this person wouldn't do that, and this, and it's all of these, this, oh no, and you need to keep this inside, and this constant toxic nature, and it was crazy.
Yeah.
Read the book.
Yeah. Read the book.
Wow.
Read the book.
Yeah. Read the book.
So, you know how we normally end the show, we talk about our takeaways. So what is our I'm gonna stop that.
Stop it. Stop saying stop it. You're a good singer. Why are you dulling your own shine?
So
Carcia.
My takeaway is that my takeaway from this is that really think before you swear yourself to secrecy, always think about the impact that it could have on the other person, and truly try to do what is right in the situation. That's very hard to do sometimes, but I'm going to try to do that because, yeah, the secret thing, it's not helping people.
It's not. I agree with you as for my takeaway as well. My takeaway is, it's easy to keep a secret. It's easy to just not say anything. Seeing blind, hearing deaf, slow speech. That's what we love to say. But at the same time, you're setting up that person for an epic fail, I feel, if you don't say something. Even if you have to bring that person and bring in another person to be there when you deliver this secret. As in another family member, a therapist, a third, an outside party, whatever you have to do.
Yes.
But I agree. You can't keep that a secret. You have to let it out because you're doing that person a favor. And although it's gonna hurt like hell,
yes,
they'll heal. I feel. I hope.
I love that. Mine is about boundaries for your kids, right? Like, again, babies and dogs. They tell you a lot.
They tell you a lot.
And respecting our kids' boundaries, again, as much as we raise our children to be respectful to elders and others, that's a very big thing in our community. Our kids still have boundaries and we need to listen to them.
Yes.
Stop forcing your kids to do things that they're basically telling you, I do not want to do. Don't let them go sleep at that auntie's house who has the new boyfriend and they say, I don't want to go to auntie's house anymore. There might be a reason, right? I don't want to sit on grandpa's lap. I don't want to do that. Listen to your kids. Create a space that your kids are going to be open with you and honest with you and have discussions and really listen to your kids' boundaries. That's very, very, very important.
Oh my gosh,
because
so
again, had Robert had boundaries and people were listening to his boundaries and creating a space for Robert to be able to disclose what had happened to him, we likely wouldn't have had to go through surviving R. Kelly 1 and 2.
You'd be stepping in the name of love.
I'd be able to step in the name of love and not feel guilty about it.
You'd be like, getting that vibe.
And not be traumatized by every single song you've ever heard from the man.
Yeah, because now it's just
because now I know what You Are Not Alone is truly about.
Now we know what You Are Not...
I'm like, I don't want to dance to a song about a
I can't. I'm sorry, MJ. But MJ's another story. But you know what? Let's just end this on a happier note.
So, read Tiffany Haddish's book. It is very hilarious.
Let's just end this on a good note.
We do also want to make a public service announcement. So there's a couple of things
public service announcement.
Number one, thank you to Amanda Hamer, who actually is the one person who reached out to me and gave me ideas for shows. We've asked for you to give ideas for shows. I mean, we've got like a list of show ideas. We actually have the entire month of March already planned.
It's going to be a good month.
It's going to be a very good month. We're actually going to change it, and we're going to be talking about business and different things about business. So it's going to be great. But we want to hear from you. This show is a platform for everyone, and we want to be able to hear from you. What are the things that you want us to be talking about? Because again, I do a lot of research. I get some resources that I want to be able to share with everyone. So that's number one. Number two, if you know somebody, and Carcia said it in one of our promo videos, your mama, your father, your sister, your brother, your auntie, the dog, whomever.
It doesn't matter who.
Do you know anyone that would
anyone that has a heartbeat and does actually
an expert?
Breathing.
Like, we know that there are people out there that are good at stuff. We know there are people out there that are killing the game.
Killing it.
So if you are one of those people, or if you know someone that is, let us know about them. Send us their Insta profile.
Drop a line
send us
here.
Their Facebook. Drop a line in the comments here.
Send us smoke signals.
Yeah.
Send us telepathic. Whatever you gotta do, let us know. We want to big them up.
Let us know so we can bring them on.
We want to put them on our social media platforms.
Put them on that pedestal.
Listen, we are going to grow this. We are going to grow this. I'm telling you, you guys are going to see us on a TV show near you.
Amen.
And we want to bring everybody along. We
Everyone's
really are
invited.
trying to create a really strong community of people out there doing their thing.
Absolutely.
It's not just about, we're so quick to go and celebrate celebrities and go buy Beyonce's new thing and Kim Kardashian or whomever else has got something out. Let's celebrate the people that are doing great things in our community.
Absolutely.
People like Flo King, my girl Flo King, who is
Flo
killing it on her, I
King.
think, fourth Dirty Bird with her partners, doing amazing things. So, like, we need to be celebrating these people who are within our community, who are doing great things, and we want to be a part of that. So let us know what's happening. The third part of the public service announcement, if you have a business, a venue, and you would like us to tape the show from there so we can promote your business, please let us know.
We're ready,
We are
guys.
happy to bring this on the road. If you've got, all we need is a little corner. to put our little light equipment.
And we have an outlet so we can plug in our
outlet
stuff.
so we can plug it in.
That's
and
all we
can
need.
Be there to be able to do the show from your location, promote your business. We've got a great social media following between us. We've also all started our own businesses again. And we want to be able to build this economy to promote this business. We are not just about ourselves.
No, we're not
We are about the community.
We want to help.
When we said we want to rule the world, it's not just the three of us. We want to create a real movement.
Yeah,
this is what the show was about. So help us to help you. So again, give us show ideas. Let us know who's out there killing it. And then if you want, again, you have a location and you'd like us to tape from that location, we are happy to take the show on the road. We actually will be pre-taping. Yes, we're going to announce that. We're also going to be pre-taping some of our shows. It's becoming a very busy season for all of us. So again, if you have a location, we can literally tape 4 weeks worth of shows in your location if we have to, because our schedules are getting busy. We will let you know when the shows are going to be pre-planned. This one's live, but we'll let you know when.
Or is it?
Or is it?
Just because it says live up there doesn't mean it is.
It's live. It's live. So please, again, help us help you, because we really want to build a community of not your typical girl talk.
Yeah.
So thank you.
No, we're not going to do that again.
No. I'm just trying to force Toshiba to sing. That's all.
Me.
See, it's coming out, girl. What was that? See, that was something.
What are we trying to do, guys? I think you guys know we are trying to
rule the world.
Rule the world.
Because if I rule the world.
Oh, yeah, our theme song.
I feel.
Oh, hold on, God. Okay, guys, hold on. If we're gonna do this. I mean, we don't want to deafen our fans. No, let's clap and dance. That's one of the best.
Yeah, I need to just snap and clap. Hey.
Yo, Nas, come on now. Hit us up now. What are you waiting for?
Yeah, he ain't trying to work with us. So rule the world. We're all ruling the world together. Goodbye, everybody.
Thank you so much, guys. Bye, guys.